how does she ever represent herself as real change to that 65% who felt like the country needed it?
Well, her tour bus says a new way forward. That's the big slogan on her tour bus as she's driving around the country. So I'm thinking, okay, well, what's this new way? What does it look like? Barack Obama was hope and change. When he said he was going to radically transform this country, that's when the red flag went up in my mind back in 2008. So I don't know how she does it, because as of lately, when you go to the website, there's no policies on there. Or if he just does a cut and paste from MAGA, no tax on tip. Well, I'll do that too.
Or from Joe Biden's
Or from Joe Biden. Exactly. I don't know how she does that. She's a very poor communicator in letting the people know that there is a path and what that path actually looks like. I think that's her biggest disconnect. And like I said earlier, I mean, I don't know where you're at in this country if you don't know who's best to turn things around. President Trump, proven track record. Look at his 4 years, without the exception of the 2 crappy years. The first, was Paul Ryan. He can only do so much in the House and get things done. But Kamala Harris, I think she's kind of this 30,000 foot elevation messaging that's just kind of vague, and it's kind of warm fuzzies, and it's like we're all together, and it's the talking points we've heard from Democrats for 25 years. We're going to kitchen table, policies. We're going to build from the bottom up. All that bull crap that American people have heard for so long. But what does that look like? And right now, people are struggling. You know this. People can't pay their bills. And I don't think she provides any solutions to solve the problems in this country. I just don't.
And of course, this is why we detest the media, even though I guess we're somehow kind of a part of it. But just pull up that cut one from yesterday, because that's a great lead in what Brian just said about the 30,000 foot just kind of like nonsense when she spews. And of course, they've kept her around. They've kept her away from every camera they can. But she ended up sitting down with this guy from some local place. And this is what we're talking about. Here's the first question. Roll the question, Aaron.
When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are 1 or 2 specific things you have in mind for that?
All right, so stop it. When we talk about bringing down prices for the American people, what are 2 specifics you have in mind to do that? Now, that is not asking the quantum theory of relativity. That is asking very basic, what are you going to do? 2 things to bring down prices. Now, if that's me, I'll ask that same question. There's nothing wrong with that question. But if she's sitting across from me or from you or from anybody else that on this network, I would think, if she starts saying this, roll it, Aaron.
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard.
Maybe I'd let this go to about here.
She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager. I grew up in a community of hardworking people, construction workers and nurses and teachers. And I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, but a lot of people will relate to this. I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn.
Yeah.
Okay, stop it. Lawn. At that point, I'm jumping in.
Did she say lawn?
Lawn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Proud of their lawn.
Proud of their lawns.
Green lawn.
Yeah.
You got a problem with that, Brian? You don't like your lawn? I got a great lawn.
Hey, I pass on grass, all right?
The question was, but this is why you say all we get from her, because she's allowed to do it.
Yeah, they don't push back on it at all. If that was President Trump, they've already stopped her, like you said, and drilled down and said, what do you mean by that?
Right.
They just let her roll.